Many folks don't realize that there is a therapeutic effect to electromagnetic field therapy. And on this edition of Canine Longevity, we have Lisa Mixes here from Respond Systems, and she's going to be talking about this fascinating technology. Let me get it right. Pulsed electromagnetic fields, or PEMF. Did I get it right?
Yes, that works. Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So can you explain to me, as a surgeon, what is this technology? How does this work?
So pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, PEMF, I call it PEMF for short because it's much easier. PEMF, electromagnetic field therapy, is not a new force, basically. Electromagnetic fields are one of the four fundamental forces of life. Think of gravity as another one. Without electromagnetic fields, everything that we know about life ceases to exist. So think of if you happen to have a heart condition and you go in to get an EKG, they are measuring the electrical impulses of your heart. So everything within your body is controlled by electrical impulses, electrical connections, positive and negative ions communicating with each other. So pulsed electromagnetic field therapy basically harnesses the electromagnetic fields that you're naturally exposed to, that evolution that our bodies have evolved to thrive and live in, and amplifies that signal to ensure that the body is working in the most optimal way. So if you think of every cell in your body as like a little battery, positive and negative charged. What pulsed electromagnetic field therapy does is it helps to recharge those batteries so that they're working in the most effective, optimal way based on their surroundings. So it really helps to boost just overall health and longevity, as we're talking about. In addition to kind of keeping inflammation in check, helping to prevent injury by making sure the cells are working in an optimal way. So it keeps inflammation down. It makes sure all your cellular processes are working as effectively as they can, again, given their surroundings, what else is going on in the body.
And this isn't a new technology. From my understanding, it's been around for many, many years. And in fact, there are some conditions it's actually FDA approved for.
So correct, yes. Originally, PEMF was FDA approved for the healing of non-union bone fractures. So it started from a surgical perspective with bones and healing. So all of the PEMF devices were originally from bone, and all of the research when they were doing that, applying these external electric fields to heal bone, noticed that hair would grow back faster. Fur would grow back faster. The skin and the scar would heal faster. So it doesn't just have an impact on bone tissue, for instance. It has an impact on all tissue as well.
Okay. Yeah, I know when I was researching it, fascinating. There's 79, 1998, 2004, 2006, 2019, all cleared and approved. I mean, it goes way back.
It's one of those therapies that you kind of sometimes think about, why have I never heard about this?
Yeah.
If it's been approved since the 1970s and they've been using it in human medicine since then, why is it not more mainstream at this point? But yeah, there's a lot of research, thousands of studies backing the efficacy of PEMF in basically healing faster, reducing inflammation, and addressing pain.
So then if it's going to help with all those types of situations, when, for a canine patient, when do we reach for it? What would be examples of conditions or treatments that we'd want to reach for that therapy?
Good question. And mine is before any of those conditions happen. So PEMF is such a non-invasive, easy modality. It does not require you to know exactly where to target the treatment because of a lot of systems. Our systems are kind of a full body. So I want to use it in a prehab type of way. I want to try to make those cells work effectively as long as I can, so we start to slow down the diagnosis of arthritis or other chronic degenerative types of conditions. So my first one would be before, like when your dog is younger, 3 or 4 years old and kind of in the prime of their world. Although we're guilty ourselves of, maybe not necessarily doing the prevention things that we should be. be, but think about it before, because that way we really want to help increase a comfortable, healthy quality life and longevity. So addressing it prior to, but a lot of us are guilty, even with our own bodies, of not addressing it until we feel the pain. Or we start to slow down. So think about with your dog, if there's issues, all of a sudden they're a little slower to get up, a little slower to go on that walk. It takes them longer to warm up. You notice that they're a little uncomfortable. Maybe they're spinning around constantly to find a comfortable way to lay because there's a little bit of pain and inflammation. So things like arthritis, IVDD, DM, hip dysplasia, any condition that usually results from age and is a wonderful candidate for PEMF.
So for clients that are interested or pet parents, do they go into the vet's office for this, say once a week, or do they do this at home, or how does the treatments work?
Both. So a lot of veterinarians, especially if your dog is getting any kind of rehab therapy, will have one of the mats, a PEMF mat in their clinic, which is a lot of times where pet parents are exposed to it first. And then the clinics, they can usually buy one through the clinic, or they can reach out to us directly. So to be able to use it at home, so that they can continuously have that stimulation, not just once a week or once a month when they get to the vet, but they can do that at home.
So are there any specifications, or are there different types or certain settings? So
good questions. There are PEMF, if you start to dig into the science side of it, can get quite overwhelming because there's wavelength, there's waveform, there's frequency, there's intensity. There's a lot of different variables that go into creating this perfect combination of therapeutic effect from the PEMF. We've been making them for 40 years at Response Systems. We have fine-tuned and have what we consider a proprietary blend of those types of variables: waveform, frequency, intensity, and duration of treatment. That creates a very therapeutic, a beneficial therapeutic effect. If you're looking for, we get this question all the time, if you're looking for a device to use at home, you would like to have one that has the option to change its frequency. Because not every condition is the same, not every dog is the same. How they are today versus a year from now may be different. So to have the option to change a frequency setting within one device will give you more option as your dog ages. So having multiple frequencies in one device is important. Number two, having a device that hopefully treats the entire dog in one setting, because if your dog, let's say they're having an issue in their hip, guaranteed they're compensating a little more weight in the front and in their shoulders. So you get these compensatory effects. So even though the main condition might be in the hip, they're now compensating with extra weight bearing in the front. So we want to treat the whole dog because PEMF addresses inflammation no matter where it is. If we can treat the whole dog, we're treating not only the target, but also the compensatory issues as well. So having a system that treats full body is ideal. And then making sure it's the right intensity. So with PEMF, the stronger the intensity of the field, the deeper it's going to get into tissue. The one thing I absolutely love about PEMF, it goes through everything. So if you have fur, bone, if you're treating yourself with a PEMF device, it can go through clothing. Some other modalities cannot. They need to be in direct contact with the skin. But PEMF goes through it all. So the only thing that slows down that field is distanced away from it. Okay. So the stronger your field is, the deeper it's going to get into tissue. So if you're treating a Chihuahua, for instance, we really don't have to get through that much tissue. So the intensity may not have to be that much. But if we're trying to treat a Labrador and deeper into a joint space where we have a lot of inflammation, we really want to make sure that the system is intense enough to get to where you want it to go.
So the client has it at home, or the pet parent. What should they expect to see? Like, how long is the sessions, or how long do they have to use it before they'll start to see a response? And what response are they looking for to say, hey, this is actually having an effect?
Yes, we get the question every single day. So the response is going to vary based on the dog and the condition. So a lot of times we'll say you can tell when you can get an immediate impact from just one treatment, and usually that is related to pain or inflammation. So you may notice that, hey, my dog, after one treatment, got up and just ran up the stairs for the first time in 4 weeks because he felt good. So that could be, you're going to notice an increase in mobility. You're going to notice one of the big things we hear all the time is that kind of your dog keeps getting up throughout the night because they're uncomfortable. So the dog's up and you're up. We have pet parents that will call and say, this is the first week of sleep I've had solid through the night because my dog is sleeping through the night because they're more comfortable. So you're going to look at mobility as an indication of effect. You're going to look at pain, and you being the pet parent seeing your dog every day are more aware of what their pain indications are than we are, who we've never seen your dog. So looking for signs that their pain is less. Their tendency to want to do activity is going to hopefully increase, and those are one of the other kind of indications that you're getting an effect. You can see that from one 30-minute treatment, but what we want to do is sustain that multiple times. So if you can treat on more than just one day, usually I would say it takes maybe 3 treatments, consecutive treatments, day to day, to really start to see those types of increase in mobility and decrease in pain effects.
So as far as contraindications, I know when we talk about things that are going to stimulate the body, regenerative medicine, photobiomodulation, laser therapy, this type of technology, are there any contraindications? Do we have to worry about, say, cancer, things being stimulated? Or what would you say are the contraindications for a veterinarian or a pet parent to be aware of with this device?
Good question. So the main contraindications are, number one, pregnancy. There is no research on it. So everybody errs on the side of caution. If your dog is pregnant, you're not going to be treating them with PEMF. Another one is cancer. Good question. So that there are, as we sort of touched on in the beginning of the session, there's all these different variables that come into play with PEMF, the frequency, waveform, intensity, how long you're treating. And now we have all these different types of cancers. All of those permutations have not been studied for every cancer in every type of dog. So we err on the side of caution with cancer and say, as a pet parent, consult with your veterinarian, talk to them about the best treatment plan for your dog, because there's just not enough research. There's interesting studies coming out that show a positive effect of PEMF in treating symptoms of radiation or chemotherapy as your dog is getting treatment with those to kind of offset the side effects of those type of treatments. But again, talk with your veterinarian, consult with them, and together you guys can create the best therapy plan for your dog.
Excellent. So, Lisa, if clients or pet parents are interested in getting one of these devices, do they talk to their veterinarian? Can they go to your website? What's the best next step?
All the above. So we work very collaboratively with veterinarians, and we always recommend consulting with your veterinarian first. But there are some veterinarians who are not as familiar with the technology. They can, so that pet parent can come to us. They can visit respondanimal.com, and we have a lot of information on the website about how it works, types of conditions treated, in addition to different options available to them to rent or to buy to use at home.
It's fantastic. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Dr. Sherman Knapp with Canine Longevity. And remember, it's all about your pet's health span, not just lifespan.
Good girl, Fachi.